What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the best damn Barrows guide ever. In this video, we are going to cover a lot of things, everything to do with Barrows. We are going to check out some requirements. We are also going to check out different gear setups depending on where you might be at with your account. So that should help you out. And I am going to do my best to teach you how to do the most efficient and fast Barrows runs so you can make as much money as possible. Hard requirements. First up, hard requirements. So the only thing that you need to start doing Barrows is one quest, and that quest is the Priest in Peril quest. You must do this quest and complete it to reach the Morytania and Catacombs area. Once you complete this quest, you can make the trek all the way down to Barrows by going through pretty much the entire land over there, which we don't want to do, so we will cover how to get there in just a bit. But as for hard requirements, completing the Priest in Peril quest is the only thing you need. Suggested requirements. For your list of soft requirements or suggested requirements, we will start out with skill levels. I am going to suggest first that you have an attack and strength level of at least level 60, and this is for the use of dragon weaponry. It will be very useful while you are getting loot potential, which we will cover later. I am also going to suggest that you have a minimum of level 60 ranged. Obviously higher is better, but 60 is good enough to start. For the magic level, you will only need to have level 50 magic to start Barrows, and that is my bottom of the barrel requirement for this. That will give you the ability to use A, the Iban Blast after the completion of the Underground Pass quest, or B, the Slayer Dart, which you can do at 50 magic, and also if you have 55 Slayer. And last, I would suggest that you have a minimum of level 43 prayer, and that will be for the use of Protect from Melee, Missiles, and Magic. Obviously, Protect from Melee is the highest overhead protection prayer, level 43. My other suggested requirement is going to be access to the AsukaYenOSRS spellbook or some way of getting the Barrows Teleport. The Barrows Teleport is an AsukaYenOSRS teleport in that spell book. It is level 83. So if you are an Iron Man, you have to have level 83 and a minimum of 60% favor with the AsukaYenOSRS house to make your own tablets or your own portal in your player-owned house, or level 83 magic just to use the runes teleport. Now, obviously, there are other ways to get there, which we will go over in the how to get there section, but for my suggested requirement, I suggest you have some way to get access to the Barrows Teleport. There is the Runes Teleport. You can build a portal in your house, or you can buy teleport tablets from the Grand Exchange. Location and how to get there. As for how to get to Barrows, there are actually a lot of different ways that you can access Barrows. As you heard me just mention, the most efficient and fastest way is going to be with the AsukaYenOSRS spell, the Barrows Teleport. Now for me, my personal favorite way to get there is using the Barrows Teleport tablets or the Portal Nexus in your player-owned house if you do have the level for that. So either one of those is going to be the way to get there. Obviously, if you don't have either of those, you could also put the runes in a rune pouch and use that to access the Barrows Teleport spot. It does require level 83 magic on the AsukaYenOSRS spellbook, but it will put you just north of where all of the Barrows Brothers crypts are, as you can see on the map. Our next method of getting there and your next closest location is going to be the Mort'ton Teleport scroll. This will place you directly in the center of the town of Mort'ton. You will then just have to run east, follow the path north, then east again, and you have arrived at Barrows. Now, this could be an option for Iron Men that may not have the teleport level or means to use the Barrows Teleport from the AsukaYenOSRS spellbook. Maybe you got lucky on some clue scrolls. That is where you can acquire Mort'ton Teleport scrolls from. If you're not an Iron Man, you can also buy those from the Grand Exchange. Our next method of getting there is going to be the Morytania Legs 3 or 4. This will put you in the town of Berg de Rot. If you have them, you will run out of the town to the north, follow the path east, north, and east, and once again, you will arrive at Barrows. That is a pretty steep requirement, though, for getting there. If you can do that, you most likely have one of the accesses to the other methods. Our next method is going to be the Shades of Mort'ton minigame teleport. Perhaps if you are lacking other methods of getting there and you plan on taking enough supplies with you to actually stay for a good amount of time and not bank, then the Shades of Mort'ton Teleport could help you out. Definitely could be useful for Iron Men. Please be aware that you do have to have the Shades of Mort'ton quest completed to use that minigame teleport. It will put you up there by the shrine, which you will then run south, east, north, and east to get to Barrows. All right, 2 methods to go. Let's get through these real quick. I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here because these teleports are very close together. First, if you are using the fairy rings and have access to them and need to make the long run there, you can use the fairy ring CKS, which will take you over there to Canifis. You will run through the gate, down through the swamp, and around all of that junk down there, and take your path to Barrows. Additionally, on the Arceus spellbook, which once again you will still need 60% favor to use, but only level 40 magic, you can teleport to the Salve Graveyard Teleport and then follow the same path around. And finally, the last method I'm going to show here is going to be the Kharyrll Teleport, which is an ancient spell. You will need at least level 66 magic to use that, or the accompanying teleport tab. It will take you to the pub in Canifis, which you will then run out back, go down the trapdoor, run through the dungeon there, out the doors, cross the bridge, run down to the boat, and then that will take you just to the bridge before Barrows. Please keep in mind, you will need to complete the In Search of the Mire Key quest to use this route. Suggested gear setups. All right, so getting into some suggested gear setups now. These are going to be low, medium, high, and my particular setup. Now for the low, medium, and high, they're basically just suggestions if you've never been to Barrows and to get yourself started. Obviously, you can mix and match items that are available to you. All right, so we're going to start off with our low tier setup here. On the left in the gear setup, I have a Helm of Nitzat, but if you don't have that, you can use something else, like maybe a Berserker's Helm if that's available to you. Avid's Accumulator, but if you have the Assembler, obviously use that. Amulet of Glory. In the ammunition, I have Rune Arrows. As for the staff, I went with the Iban staff for the low tier setup. I'm using Black Dragonhide in this, but I did say earlier that 60 range was all you need, so if you have Red Dragonhide available, you can go ahead and use that. I'm also using an Unholy Book for a little bit of prayer boost, Rune Gloves, Rune Boots, and an Explorer's Ring for another +1 prayer. If you have another ring to use there, such as the Berserker's Ring, that would be what you want to use. Over in the inventory, my melee switch is simply just a Dragon Scimitar and a Rune Defender. As for the range switch, Magic Shortbow. Also, you can replace that with a Magic Shortbow imbued. Super Combat Potion, Ranging Potion, 4 Prayer Potions, 2 Stamina Potions, 8 Sharks, Barrows Teleports, and House Teleports to get there and back when you're done. This setup is pretty much bottom of the barrel. You can honestly do Barrows with whatever you want, but this will help you get going in the correct direction. Next up is our medium tier setup, and this will get you through Barrows a little bit more efficiently, a little bit faster, and it makes Barrows a little bit more fun. As for the gear you'll be using in this suggested setup, and it's not helmet, but if you have something else that can replace it, by all means use it. Avid's Accumulator, but it can be upgraded to the Assembler. This one is going to use the Occult Necklace because it will give you a plus 10% damage boost to magic, which you will need and you will want. In the Blessing slot, I do have a Unholy Blessing, but any of them will work. Weapon switches to the Trident of the Seas, but it can be upgraded once again to the Trident of the Swamp or the Sanguinesti Staff, depends on what you have. Fighter's Torso in the chest slot, legs are going to be the Obsidian Plate Legs, Dragon Defender in the offhand, Barrows Gloves, Dragon Boots, and a Berserker's Ring imbued. Over in the inventory, Black Dragonhide switch for the range switch with a Toxic Blowpipe. As for the melee switch, I have an Abyssal Whip, an Amulet of Fury, and a Fire Cape. Potions, once again, Super Combat, Ranging Potion, 4 Prayer Potions, 2 Stamina Potions, 5 Sharks, knocked it down a little bit because you probably won't need them as much. Strange Old Lockpick. Now, I added this one in to the medium tier setup because it is around the 80 to 90k item. So if you're just starting out Barrows, you're looking to make some money, maybe you're not going to use that. But the Strange Old Lockpick, I will explain later. Just make sure you have one. 5 Barrows Teleports and 5 Teleport to Houses, or more, obviously, if you want to take more. Next up is going to be our high tier setup, and this is what would be considered best in slot. First off, we're going to be using the Ancestral Armor set because it increases magic damage, along with the imbued Saradomin God Cape, but obviously any of them will work. The Occult Necklace, Rada's Blessing, 4 in the ammunition slot. As for the staff, it is a harmonized Nightmare Staff. When casting offensive spells from the standard spellbook, it does increase the attack speed to 4 ticks, which would match the speed of any trident powered weapon. So that is actually really good to have, especially for the Fire Surge spell, which is why there is a Tome of Fire here. The damage is incredible. Tormented Bracelet in the hand slot, Primordial Boots, and a Berserker's Ring imbued. Over in the inventory, we have a best in slot melee switch, and this is actually only going to be used for Aram Everything else you'd use magic for. So that is the Knits Not Face Guard, Bandos Chestplate, Antacids, Amulet of Torture, Infernal Cape, Ferocious Gloves, Dragon Claws for the special attacks, because if you are able to use this gear and you are relatively high leveled, most of the time you're going to kill Aram with 2 Dragon Claw specs. The Grazi Rapier and the Avernic Defender are for if you don't happen to kill Aram with 2 Claw specs and for getting your loot potential. 1 Super Combat Potion, 1 Stamina Potion just in case you need it, and 2 Prayer Potions also just in case you need it. 3 Sharks because you should hardly ever need food with a setup like this. Obviously your Spade. I don't think I mentioned the Spade in the last 2, but it is there. You will need it. We'll explain later. In the Rune Pouch, Wrath Runes and Air Runes. The Tome of Fire provides unlimited fire runes, obviously. Strange Old Lockpick, Barrows Teleports, and House Teleports. And last but not least is going to be my personal setup. It's very close to the best in slot setup. The only differences here are I am using a Sanguinesti staff and my offhand is the Avernic, because the Avernic, the accuracy doesn't matter here. So I'm using the Sanguinesti staff because I don't have a harmonized staff. And over in the inventory, I'm using a Fire Cape instead of an Infernal Cape. As for the Rune Pouch, since I don't need to cast anything, I use the Rune Pouch just to put my runes from Barrows in. Everything else, relatively the same. Last thing is the Max Cape. I use that instead of the Teleport Tablets because all the teleports are in my house. Boss Room Layout. In this section, there are 2 boss layouts that I'm going to show you. One is going to be the outside of Barrows and the other on the inside. We'll start with the outside. Once you get to Barrows, you will notice that there are 6 hills in the fenced-in area. Each one of those hills is a crypt where one of the Barrows brothers lies in his death. So, on the screen you can see Darok at the northeast, Guthan at the southeast, Kharyrll directly south, Torag is going to be southwest, Varrock is going to be northwest, and Aram is going to be right in the center. What you will do is you will walk up to the top of one of these, use your spade, which will break you into the crypt, then you will search the chest, which you will see later in the video, and one of the brothers will pop out. Now the kicker here is one of these crypts, every run that you do, it's random, will not have anything in it. It'll ask if you want to go down below. All you have to do is say yes, which will take you inside the crypts, which we will go to now. Now that we are inside the crypt, this is what you would see from a top-down view. Obviously, you will see different once you are in there, but in each of the 4 corners, there is a ladder. You will come down at one of these ladders. It is also random which one that you come down. But from there, what your objective is to make your way to the center of the room where the loot chest is. Now, regardless of where you start, this is where the item, the Strange Old Lockpick, comes in. Now, normally you would have to go around the Barrows and find out which door is going to let you in. With this Strange Old Lockpick, it will open any door at any time. As you can see here, the highlighted doors are actually locked, but let's say that I started in the northeastern room here. So if these doors are locked, all I have to do is use my Strange Old Lockpick on the first 2 sets of doors to get me into the next room, and then I will go south and use my Strange Old Lockpick again on the next set of doors, which will take me right into the loot chest room. Now from here, you are smooth sailing. You don't have to do anything else. Now, if you are using the Strange Old Lockpick, you want to pay attention to the doors. Here you can see 2 different colored doors. The darker colored doors are the ones that are locked. That is where you want to use your Strange Old Lockpick. Do not use them on the lighter colored doors because those ones are already open. You can pass through freely. So now let's have an example as if you weren't using a Strange Old Lockpick, and we'll use the same starting location, which is the northeastern room. Now, I want to check around me to see which doors are locked, and I'll notice down here near the southeast, these doors are locked, so that is not going to be my path. I realize that the doors to my west are unlocked, so I can run through those. So I'm going to proceed to the northwest room, and then continue all the way around, down to the southwestern room, and then over to the south middle room, which is where my unlocked doors are. Once I approach these doors, if you're not using the Strange Old Lockpick, you will be presented with a puzzle. On the screen now, you will see each of the 4 puzzles. You will be presented with one of these. Once you get to that center door to let you into the loot chest room, they're very easy. You just have to memorize them, and before you know it, you will be instantly clicking the answer as soon as you see it. Mechanics and attacks. Barrows actually does not have any specialized mechanics per se, something like you would have to get out of the way of something or move in a certain area. But each brother does have a special which comes along with the set effect of the armor that they use, so I'll go through those now. Regardless of that, you really shouldn't have to worry about many of them because you will be using overhead protection prayers. First, we'll do the melee brothers. Darok has the special effect where the lower the HP of the wearer, the higher the damage output can be. So the lower the HP, the higher the hits can be. Guthan the Infested has the healing effect with the full armor set on, so if you are not protecting from melee against Guthan, he can possibly hit you and heal for the damage dealt. Torag the Corrupted has an effect where he will hit you and it steals some of your run energy, not that serious, once again, protect from melee. Varrock is the one that you might have to worry about if you are a lower level. Varrock's set effect will hit through all protection prayers and armor. So even if you are protecting from melee and you have really high armor on, if the special set effect triggers, he can hit you through it, 20, 21 damage, so watch out for that. The ranged brother Kharyrll, his set effect is a reduction in agility level. So he can hit you and take your agility levels down. And last is going to be Aram. If Aram hits you with his set effect, it can take your strength level down. The next mechanic is going to be how the rewards work. So not really related to combat, but definitely something that you need to know. So the loot works basically on reward potential, and this is by what you kill throughout the entire Barrows run. After killing all of the brothers, you'll have a certain amount of reward potential, and then from there, once you get down into the Catacombs, you will need to kill additional monsters to get your reward potential up. Now, once you're down in the Catacombs to finish off your reward potential, I want you to keep in mind that you will want to be between 86 and 88% reward potential to optimize the average value of the rewards. If you get less than 86, there's a possibility that you might not see blood runes or something like that. If you get more than 88%, then you have the chance to roll bolt racks, dragon medium helms, and tooth and loop half keys, which we don't want because it takes away a possible roll for getting runes. Now there's a few ways to do this, but I'll just give you a couple. Once you kill all 6 brothers and head down into the Catacombs, you can kill 2 skeletons and 1 bloodworm, which will put you at 874 points of reward potential, or you can kill 4 bloodworms, 876 points. So that is about where you want to be. Our last mechanic is going to be finding the final Barrows brother. As I said before, you will kill 5 of them up in the crypts, and then you'll have to travel down to the Catacombs to find the last one and loot the chest. Now the thing about this is, while you are traversing the Catacombs, the final Barrows brother can pop up at any time when you are opening a door, so be aware of that. If you happen to make it to the loot chest without finding the 6th Barrows brother, only click the chest once to open it. If it's already open, click it once, and then the Barrows brother will pop up, and then you can finally kill the last brother and finish out your reward potential. Example fights and kills. All right, so I am at Barrows. I'm all geared up and ready to go. I am going to take you guys through an example run of Barrows. Now, I am going to speed up and slow down this clip where necessary because it is a very simple fight. So there are parts here that I just can't talk through because there's nothing to say. So be prepared for the speeding up and slowing down of this clip. So first thing I'm going to do, since I'm here, I'm going to go over here to Darok's crypt, and I am going to use my spade to just dig. It's going to break me in, protect from melee for Darok, disturb the chest, and begin your attack. All right, so Darok is dead. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my next brother, which is Guthan. Break into the crypt, protect from melee on, and disturb the crypt. Guthan is finished. Now the next one here, I am actually going to go over to Kharyrll. Now I like to do it in this way. I started at Darok, moved to Guthan. Now I'm at Kharyrll. I will then follow up with Torag and Varrock and Aram last, because what I am doing is I'm using magic for Kharyrll. Now you might be thinking he's wearing ranged armor. Well, for Barrows, it actually doesn't matter. Kharyrll has a magic level of 1, making his defense also 1. Protect from range for this one, and we are here. So there's the kill. All right, see, quick and easy. Next one is going to be Torag, next to melee brother. And I like to do it this way because I don't have to switch gear too many times. So I do it in this rotation. So some of the times I can make it all the way through. If Aram's my chest, then I only have to switch gear there, or twice throughout the entire run if not. Torag is done. On to Varrock. And remember, this one actually does hit through armor and prayers. It does have the chance to do that. So let's see if this is my tunnel. And it is not. So Varrock can hit through your armor and prayers, but you still need to use Protect from Melee here because not every attack will proc the set effect. So still make sure you're using your Protect from Melee. There was a hit through prayer right there. All right, I am done. So for my last one, I want to go ahead and prepare for Aram. So I am using Melee with Dragon Claws. And we're going to go ahead here and go down into the crypt. It's going to ask me, am I sure I want to proceed? Yes, I do. I'm fearless. All right, so now we are in the crypt. Now, this is where the strange old lockpick comes in. I actually got lucky. I wouldn't have to use it. I could go through here, then the next door, and then straight in to the chest room. But just for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and use the strange old lockpick here. So it's going to take me through this one, and using it will consume 1 charge for both of those doors. Not 2 charges, only 1. So you can open 50 sets of doors with the strange old lockpick. Now, since I have made it here without Aram popping up at any of those 4 doors, what I'm going to prepare to do here, get my prayer back up a little bit, super combat, protect from magic, piety, and I'm going to open the chest. Aram's going to pop up, and then we can quickly go ahead and finish him off. And it may not be that quick for you, but if you are a lower level, you might be ranging Aram instead of meleeing. But in my case, since I have the best in slot gear, I'm going to go ahead and just declaw spec and get it out of the way really quickly. Now, as for the loot potential, I want to remember get up in between 86 and 88%. So we're going to go ahead and try to kill 2 skeletons and a bloodworm here. So hopefully we can get through this door. And if you need NPCs, just go ahead and go in and out of the doors until you get what you want. Every time you open the door up to a certain point, the NPCs will spawn. So there's 1 skeleton. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our second skeleton here, assuming that I stop hitting zeros. So there we go. And lucky enough for us, there is a bloodworm. So we're going to go and, oh, I already got kill percent, 88% there. I must have killed something else or hit something that somebody killed. So my loot potential actually went over where we actually want it. I think I hit something when I came in here and this guy finished it off. So we're going to go ahead and loot the chest. See there, I got bolt racks. That is not what we want to happen. One more thing I want to mention here before the end of the kill. If you have the Morytania hard diaries completed, you will get 50% more roots from every chest at Barrows. So if you have the ability to complete those diaries or you want to work towards it, make sure you do that. It will increase your rewards by 50% when it comes to runes. Ending words. All right, everybody, so that is going to do it for this guide for Barrows. I hope that you have learned something. If you didn't know something before, well, I hope you know it now. This guide has been updated since I did a guide 2 years ago because obviously there has been an addition to the game. That is the strange old lockpick. It was not around a couple of years ago when I did my last Barrows guide. So I hope that you have enjoyed it. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't done so yet, tap the subscribe button on your way out. Make sure you turn on that little bell icon. It will let you know whenever I upload new content. With that, guys, once again, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Take it easy, everybody.